Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report for the 5th of April, and starting with the ASX here, we're looking at this low here in terms of wave 1, 2, and then 5 waves up here for wave 3, and then wave 4 and wave 5. So we're in this little section here, so we're looking for 5 waves in this section. So if we use this as the wave 4 as a reference point and move into the 4-hour chart. So with the 4-hour chart here, and also wave 4 low being in place here, last time we spoke we were looking for wave 3 high, wave 4 to pull back, and that there, if I can just tidy this up a little bit, from wave 2 low here to the top of wave 3 there, roughly the 38.2% retracement level here. So we wouldn't want to see it coming much lower than where it is here at the moment for that. So what we're looking for now in this particular section, we're looking for 5 waves up in, let me just clean this up here a little bit, don't need all that. So we're looking for 5 waves up into this sequence here to finish off that wave 5 of wave 5 here, which will also be wave 3 here. This level is really important, the number 3 here. If you know the trading levels, then 1, 2 and 3 here, we've got minor levels here, so we would need a nice support on top of this level here. So it would play out, if it was going to go up further, then we would see something like this here, and then we would see it come back up. So we've got that high there as our reference point to go along again, but I would expect this market to work itself back lower towards the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree for this wave 4 here. So we just need a little bit of patience here for this to unfold so we can understand it better. The other point here too is that the move down through here looks quite, it doesn't look corrective, does it? It looks quite impulsive, like 5 waves, and if it is 5 waves, then it will give us the direction. So I've gone through it. It does seem to be 3 waves, but we just need to be mindful. So let's just go in and talk about this a little bit on the 1-hour chart. So yes, there's 2 different ways of counting this structure up here, and both of those still leave you with wave 3 here. The thing that we need to watch here though is that first of all we need to confirm that we've got a low in here and we don't have a little 5-wave structure up here, so it could drop a little bit lower here to finish off, so I'm not sure about that. Let's just have a look at where the S&P is at the moment. Well, the S&P is in positive territory and can push higher. We'll look at that in the next video. But so if this is 5 waves down here, then I just want to point out the dangerous areas, and if that is the low there, because I always like to see if this finishes off really nicely here, like if this was a nice clean 5 waves for the last wave here, then I could call that in for a low here, but it's rather sort of corrective in here, so it's a little bit difficult to make it out in here. And also to that, we would need a nice clear 5 waves to the upside here to confirm that we're actually going higher. If we were going to go higher, and we could talk about that in a moment too on the tick chart, so this is the 50-60% retracement level here. So if this was going to, let's just say that this low stays here, or there's one more little low in here and the market moves up through here, this is the area here that we need to be mindful of here. So that's on 60, that needs to be on 65 there. So 65, 72 here and 80. So really the 65 the beginning of group 2 is the resistance area through here. So we would need a very clear pattern, emerging from here to tell me that it's going to go through this eventually and move up higher from that point. So we are, with this sharp move down here, we are in a bit of a dangerous situation, but it's a bit difficult. I mean, I just don't see how this is finished here. There's just one wave short here, whichever way I look at it, there's just one wave short. And if this is going to pull down, it'll probably pull down to cover that little gap in there, if that's still there, the little tiny gap just in here. So we just need to be mindful of that. But either way, if this moves down through here, that trend line's probably a little bit not right. Put it this way, if this market finds support on top of Sub Group 1, which is 1, 2, and 3 here, the 30 here, then you could look to go to the upside. If number 2 here becomes the resistance, then we're going to come down here and we're going to bounce off this and then move back up through that area there. But the S&P is closing in positive territory for the time being. Let's just go into the tick chart here. So this is how I've got the tick chart here. This is 100 ticks. So the first thing that sort of, I mean, when I look at this as a whole here, it certainly looks like an impulse wave that we could come up and then go down again from here. So would need a strategy for that as well. But when I count this little structure in here, the first move down through here, it's in 3 waves here. I really need to label it wave A here, and then wave B here, and then 1 and 2 here, and then all the way down here for 3, and across for 4, and down for 5 here. This 5th wave doesn't finish off very nicely down here as well. So the only way I could do that and sort of justify it is to have a truncated 5th wave on this little guy here, on this low here, and then that would give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at that point. If I go to take this down to 20 ticks rather than 100 ticks, then I've got from the top here, I've got the 3 waves, which is pretty clear. So the A, the B, and then 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 5 waves down here. I've looked at all of that for 3, an A and a B and a C for 4, and down for 5 of 3, and an A and a B and a C here. Oh yeah, I can see probably in here. No, that's part of that. See, I just don't end up with nice 5 waves down here. That's what sort of bothers me a little bit, So if I just take from this top here to this low here, this is the 50-60% retracement level here. So this is 61.8%. So yeah, we need support on top of that 61.8%, which brings us over to the 6230 here. So the 30 is the top of group 1, so 10, 20, and 30 here. If that support establishes itself on there, then you can move into the long side there. Yeah, but build the trade in. So in this case, the classic trading levels pattern, if it emerges, which is the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, a little A, B, C. I can't draw on the tick chart on this side of the price. So this becomes the reference point high here. So this is where the long trade could take place, but just make it a small position, and then also look to build in on the next largest number here, which will be the 40 here. So build in a position there, and then onto the 50, and then look to take profit at the 65 here, because that's where it can fail if it's going to fail at this point. Now, if this market just moves down through here, then you could short it, but it's yeah, you can short it, but it's going to bounce off this area through here, off the 62. So that's going to be a bit of a problem here. So yeah, So it's a bit of a problem. So I'd have to wait for the bounce here or the 62 to become the resistance here. So coming back to the hour, or if I come back to the 4-hour chart here, I mean, it does look like it's like, because it's dropped so sharply, it does look like we've got a top in. So, but I just can't seem to get a nice clear 5 waves in this particular structure here. So, and we have taken out this high here. It might mean that the other point here is that we're still in wave 4, where all of this down here is just wave A, wave B, and then 5 waves down here for wave C here. So this wave 4 could still be in play over here. But I wouldn't be able to call that in unless the 62 here became the retested resistance at that stage. So, yeah. So, yeah, your indicators we're putting in a buy system here, I'd imagine, the stochastics and the RSIs and all those sort of things. So, but look to build a nice support on top of that 62.30 there. That would be the catalyst to the upside. And if Friday closes strong, then Monday's going to follow through on that as well. If Friday doesn't close strong and it closes in the red, then Monday's going to be in the red as well. So you'll need to be on the short side. But the bullish weekly cycle would have us bearish on the Thursday, which we've got, and then bullish on the Friday and the Monday. Okay, so just bear those in mind. So yeah, 62.30 making a new high. You could go into the micro levels too, which would be 62.33. Okay, let's have a look at the Nifty. Oh, just before we go there, I just want to the materials sector driving to the upside. So we've still got crude. Crude was down a little bit. And iron ore, we talked about iron ore here before, where we had the A wave here, an A and a B and a C for the B wave and down for the C wave. So we called the low in here. This little move up through here, that's enough to suffice that now. There will be, this 650 is a medium level, halfway between 500 and 800, of course. So that structure there can be done there. So just watch those iron ore stocks there. I tried to look at this here on the 4-hour chart here to see. It's a little bit difficult to get yeah, I might need to go. It's just not very clear to count 5 waves up here. So I don't know if we've got the top of wave 3, back for wave 4 and up for wave 5 here. But either way, we're in a toppy situation here. There can be one more high here and then a corrective phase here. And you also need to watch the oil price as well, because these two, the iron ore and the oil, are going to drag around that resource sector. Looking at the Nifty 50, so on the daily chart here, we're looking at this in a bullish fashion. So wave 3 over here, as you know, wave A, ABC for wave B, and down for wave C of wave 4 here. And then looking at this in terms of wave 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 here, and then 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third and the fourth and the fifth. That's the way we're looking at it. The greyed out areas here is the bearish count here. So it could fail. It could fail from the top of this wave 3 here, because that would make this an A wave to here, B wave to here, and a C wave to here of wave B here, and then down further from that point. So, but it has moved up really quite high here. But technically, it's okay for this to be a B wave here. It would need to take the high out here to change that. And it's close to doing that, as you can see. I should check the BSE and some of the banks on that, but you can check that. Check the BSE and also the banks and see if anything has actually taken out this high here yet, because if that's the case, then that will help confirm this bullish move here. So look, it's all eyes on wave 2 to wave 3 here completing. Okay, for either wave 3 or wave C of B. That's pretty much the bottom line of that. I think I can just go to the hourly chart here for this. So wave 2 is down here. We've got wave 1 and 2 here. and 3 and 4 here, and we're looking for wave 5 of 3 here. So this is still much the same as just the Australian market that we looked at here. So first of all, I would expect this market an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here. The line through here is the 38.2% retracement level for wave 4. We can also see that the market has done the right thing and come down and covered the gap here. Probably the futures market's done that, but that's always a good sign. Even though it's pulled down past the 38.2%, it's a good sign that it's made that little effort to close that gap there, so it doesn't need to come back and do it again. But at the same time, this low here needs to stay in place, because this point here now would be the short trade here, and any support on top of 11,650. The 650 is 650 is halfway between 5 and 8 here. So this is a really important level here, and you need it as support. So you can see that it's climbing up here on support. So what you need to do now is go long above this high here. Okay, so it's short below this one and long above this one here. So we can put that. You may still be long from the last trade there as well, and that's fine. So, but you don't want it going any lower than this one here. Okay, so yeah, let's just see if that pushes higher or not, and then we'll have our 5-wave structure to the upside here. Just checking the count here in my mind while I'm talking. Okay, so I'll put this one here in green as well. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in and enjoy the weekend.